So you've done it. You've built an awesome Spring Boot application, and it runs like a dream on your machine. But let's be real, that's only half the battle, right? How do you actually get it from your local code editor out into the wild, onto the cloud, where real users can interact with it? Well, that's exactly the journey we're taking today. Let's dive in. All right, here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off by making our app tough and resilient. Then we'll get it all packaged up and ready for launch. From there, it's all about deploying it to the web. We'll also cover how to work with a team using Git, and we'll wrap up with a handy deployment toolkit that ties everything together. So, you've written the last line of code, you've run the tests. What's next? This is where the real adventure begins, getting your creation off your computer and onto the internet. And this, right here, is the million-dollar question. It's what separates a cool personal project from a professional, real-world product. The whole process might seem a little daunting at first, but trust me, it's really just a series of small, manageable steps. Let's break them down. Okay, first things first. Before we even think about deploying, we need to make sure our app is ready for the chaos of the real world. I mean, what happens if a user types in some garbage data? Or what if a service you depend on suddenly goes offline? A truly resilient app handles these curveballs with grace, and that all starts with proper exception handling. Think about it. Without good exception handling, one tiny error could crash your entire application. Not only that, but it could spit out a bunch of ugly, sensitive information. Good handling keeps your app stable, it gives users clear feedback instead of a scary error page, and, it makes your life way easier when you have to debug things. Now, this slide shows you the professional way to do it. Sure, you could put an @exceptional handler in every single one of your controllers, but that gets repetitive fast and becomes a nightmare to maintain. The much better approach is using @controller advice. This creates one single global handler for your whole application. It keeps your logic in one place and guarantees that your error responses are consistent everywhere. It's just so much cleaner. Next up, let's talk about configurations. You definitely wouldn't want to use your local test database in a live production environment, would you? Of course not. That's where Spring Boot profiles are a lifesaver. They let you create separate configuration files for every environment, development, testing, production, which keeps all your settings organized and, more importantly, secure. And here's exactly how it works, see? For development, we might use a different port and connect to a local dev DB. But for production, we switch to another port and the real live database. And the best part? You just activate the profile you want with a simple flag when you run the app. No code changes needed at all. How flexible is that? Okay, our app is now officially resilient and configured for any environment. The next step is to package it all up into a single, runnable file that's ready to be shipped off for deployment. And honestly, Spring Boot and Maven make this part incredibly easy. Seriously. First, you just pop open your terminal and run mvn clean package. That's it. Then you'll find your shiny new jar file waiting for you in the target directory. And to run your entire application, just a single java jar command. And boom, just like that, your app is all bundled up and ready to go. We've got our package jar file, it's ready to go. Now for the most exciting part, deploying it to the web. It's time to pick a cloud platform and get our application live for the world to see. Platforms like Render and Railway have made this process unbelievably simple. All you have to do is push your code to GitHub, connect that repository to their platform, and just tell them how to build and run your app. They handle everything else, the servers, the networking, and then they just hand you a public URL. You can literally get your app online in a matter of minutes. It's amazing. Of course, there are plenty of other options out there. Heroku is another classic, famous for its powerful command line tools. If you know you're going to need to scale up, something like AWS Elastic Beanstalk is a fantastic choice. And if you're the kind of person who wants total granular control over everything, you can always go with AWS EC2 and manage your own virtual server. It really just depends on what your project needs. So, your app is deployed, high five! But the work isn't over, is it? You're going to be adding new features, fixing bugs, and you'll probably be working with a team. To manage all of those changes without creating a total mess, you absolutely need Git. Git is, without a doubt, the foundation of modern collaborative software development. It tracks every single change made to the code, giving you a complete history of your project. This makes it so much easier to work with a team. And hey, if something ever breaks, you can just roll back to a previous version that you know worked. It's an absolutely indispensable tool. So here's what a typical workflow with Git looks like.
Instead of everyone just pushing changes to the main codebase, which would be chaos, you create a separate new branch for every feature you work on. Once you're done with your changes, you open something called a pull request. This is the magic part. It's where your teammates can review your code, offer suggestions, and catch potential bugs before it gets merged into the main project. This is so crucial for maintaining high-quality code.
Phew, okay. We have covered the entire journey, from a simple file on your computer all the way to a live application on the cloud. So let's take a second to summarize the key tools and concepts you'll want in your deployment toolkit. Think of this table as your ultimate deployment cheat sheet. For handling errors like a pro, you've got @controller advice. For managing different environments, you use profiles. To package your app up, Maven is your friend. For deployment, you pick a cloud platform like Render or AWS. And to manage all your code changes, you use Git and GitHub. If you can master these 5 concepts, you'll be totally ready to take any Spring Boot application into production. And there you have it. That's the full journey, from local project to a live application on the web. You have the process, you have the tools, and now you've got the knowledge. Your application is officially ready for the world. So the only question left is, what will you build next?